I didn't quit because I was scared. I didn't quit because I was mad, either. I quit because I finally understood something. The biggest pitch of my boss's life was never about the client. It was about burying me. So at 8:47 that morning, I slid one page across the glass and walked out. By noon, he was finished. And by midnight, I found out the worst part of all. None of it made me feel better. Columbia will teach you early who you are. I grew up across the river in West Cola. My daddy worked the freight yards off Shop Road till his knees quit. My mama worked the night shift at the hospital so we could keep the lights on in Rosewood. I wasn't supposed to end up in a glass office on Gervais Street. I loaded freight for a man named J. Pack. He ran the dock. And he told me, boy, the work is the only thing that can't be taken from you. Remember that. I carried that line through USC, through every door that didn't want me, and to a firm called Calhoun and Reeves, where they let me build something from nothing. 14 months. That's how long it took me to earn the trust of Adrian Whitfield. She ran Whitfield freight, containers, rail, trucks, the real South Carolina logistics backbone. $2 million retainer, the biggest account the firm had ever seen. And I built it. Every number, every late call, every warehouse walkthrough in the rain. Here's what they don't tell you about a man like Richard Calhoun. He doesn't steal in the dark. He steals in the light, in front of everyone. Because he's decided the work is his the moment you hand it up. My deck, my numbers, my 14 months with Adrian Whitfield. Presented to the partners like he'd built it on his back porch. And I would have kept my head down. I'd done it before. Except for Lena Park. Lena ran the data. Quiet girl, sharp as a scalpel. She came to me on a Tuesday and she said, Mark, the forecast on the Whitfield file, it's been changed. Someone lowered your margin projections and saved the difference under his call center. His call center, Richard's. She showed me the line. Then Diane Mercer, corporate counsel, a woman with a mouth pressed so tight you could feel the secrets behind her teeth, stopped me in the hall. She couldn't say it. If you have anything personal on your work laptop, Mark, make sure it's backed up somewhere that belongs to you. And she walked away. I'll spare you how I got the document. It wasn't stolen. It was left on a shared drive by someone who assumed I'd already be gone. A restructuring memo. My position, eliminated. Effective the Monday after the pitch. They'd let me close the Whitfield deal, take the credit, keep the retainer, then hand me a box and a thank you and a non-compete. I sat at that kitchen table till 2 in the morning, and my wife found me there. Mia stood in the doorway in her scrubs, and she didn't say I told you so. She said, you look like a man who's about to do something that'll cost him more than it costs them. And she was right. She was always right. That's the night when I stopped wanting to win and started wanting to make sure the truth could stand on its own without me holding it up. The pitch was set for 9:30. Adrienne Whitfield was flying her whole team in from Charleston. I got there at 8:30. Richard was in his three-piece, cufflinks catching the light, rehearsing lines he'd stolen from my deck. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't make a scene. I set one page in front of him, effective immediately. No notice. They'd already written my exit, so I just moved the date. I took my own notebook, my own pen. Nothing that belonged to the firm, nothing that belonged to Adrienne. Lena watched me go. She knew. Diane was in the hall, and I nodded to her once. The only thank you I could give a woman who'd risked her job to warn me. And I walked out into the Carolina morning, and the air had never smelled that clean. Here's the part that wasn't my doing. I want you to hear that. I didn't sabotage that room. I didn't call Adrienne. I didn't leak a thing. Richard walked in to pitch an account he'd never actually built. And the moment I wasn't there to carry him, the whole thing came apart at the seams. He flipped to a slide and read a number wrong. Lena tried to correct him gently, and he cut her off in front of the client. That was the moment. Adrienne Whitfield didn't get to be the only black woman running freight in this state by missing who does the work and who performs it. She watched him contradict his own figures. She watched him disrespect the analyst who actually knew the data. And she closed her portfolio, slow, and she said, "Mr. Calhoun, I think I need to understand who I'd actually be partnering with before we move forward." She paused the deal. She didn't kill it. She paused it. Because she's a woman who builds things, and she doesn't sign with a man she can't look in the eye.
Jay poured me a glass that night at the warehouse. He didn't say, "You got it." He said, "You're lighter. Don't waste it on it." And for about an hour, I was lighter. The trap had closed on the right man. Richard's big pitch collapsed on the day it was supposed to crown him. The firm lost the account. The partners asked questions. His name started to rot. That's the revenge you dream about, right? The perfect one. The clean one. The one where you don't even have to lift a hand. And then I drove home to Rosewood, and I sat in that same kitchen chair. And my wife took my hand, and she said the only true thing anyone said to me all year. She said, "Mark, you won. So why are you still bleeding?" And I didn't have an answer. Because the truth is, I'd spent 6 months so deep in the plan to get even that I'd stopped being a husband. I'd stopped sleeping. I'd stopped being the man Jay told to carry the work. I'd won, and I was losing myself. Here's the part revenge can't do for you. It can tear down the wall. It can't build a house. I started small. One room above a shop on Divine Street. A laptop and a whiteboard, and a plant you picked out. My first client was Jay. His trucking routes. The work he'd trusted me with since I was 19. I didn't chase Adrienne. I let her go. I figured if the work was honest, he'd find me. Or it wouldn't. And either way, I'd sleep. 6 months later, she walked into that little office, portfolio under her arm, and she sat down and she said, "I paused that deal because I couldn't trust a man who took credit for things he didn't build. I'm here because you built it." She didn't bring me a $2 million retainer. She brought me her trust, a small, honest contract, and a handshake.